Another Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate demo video. This time with the Switch Axe, and I don't know if it's because it's just been so long since I've used the weapon, but it's actually kind of fun. I don't know if it's because the damage has been increased a little bit, or that the moves have been rebalanced, or the thing's just so much more maneuverable that it doesn't feel like I'm swinging around a dishwasher. But I don't mind using it. Two main modes, of course, of the Switch Axe. You've got your Axe mode, which is your untransform mode, where you're fairly mobile. Moves are a little bit slow, but each one has quite a bit of damage to it. You've got your Sword mode. Sword mode is, of course, much less mobile than the Axe mode, but of course it deals a lot more damage in a shorter period of time. So you see there, I'll do a little quick combo. There's kind of a double slash that's been added to it now. It makes the sword mode a little bit more interesting. A lot more hits coming out, so it doesn't feel quite as slow or boring. It used to always just be up, down, now it's up, down, up, kind of. Makes the weapon a lot less visually fatiguing to see when you're in sword mode. Of course, maybe my favorite part about the weapon is the fact that you get a level of wind resistance now whenever you're using either weapon, which is great, because my most hated attack for Gormagala is when he, of course, flies up in the air and he blasts you. So my main strategy is going to be trying to get the up slash or overhead slash hits in with the Axe mode until he trips, in which case I'm going to switch back over to the sword mode, get a couple quick slashes out, and then use the sword mode. Now that might have been an okay time to switch into sword mode, but I don't feel that bad. Something I maybe am not skillful enough to use yet is the little side hops. The weapon actually has a lot of really great invincibility frames when it comes to using the side hops, and it's definitely worth trying to use more often if you can. Wow. I think I got hit in the very last frame of that tail. Okay. Getting blasted back there wasn't that bad. I at least got one little hit off. Oh! And another ride. Try not to ride too much. I feel like it's maybe a little bit boring to see him getting rode around on, but it really does help the time a bit. I feel like you get those 5 hits off, and then the blast, that's about as good a combination of damage as you're going to get. That feels bad whenever you miss that overhead chop. And just whiffing in the air, too. Oh, what are you going to do? So interesting thing about the Switch Axe is, of course, in 4 Ultimate there's all sorts of different files. You've got your bog standard power file, which is pretty much always a good choice. Elemental file, ailment file. Is there an exhaust file? A dragon file? I think the dragon file has been taken out, but I can't remember. Not anything I would ever really use in earnest. Hard to justify using anything other than the power file, because it's never a bad choice. Now this side slash here, probably not the best hit to use unless you've really got a pretty decent element going. But as long as you follow it up with the axe chop, it really isn't too terrible. It does a pretty comparable damage to whatever your normal combo would do. Of course, it does reduce your sharpness by quite a bit because you're hitting so many more times. Getting very lucky with the positioning here. Very lucky. pretty lucky with that too. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna go straight into the burst. Now, I always have a hard time telling if the burst hit or not. I just have to assume that it did. There we go. Switch Axe, of course, one of the weapons with the best vertical reach in the game. Pretty good choice for a large monster or a flying monster, depending on whatever you're trying to hit. Now, it's not like paralyzing him is necessary. You could always try to get a write-off, but when it comes down to it, you have to hit the head. So I think it may as well, while I have Paraknives, actually get this done the easy way. I'm not sure if it's going to really pay off to try and take this Might Pill or not. Hopefully I don't get wombo comboed in the process. It's got such a short duration. I probably should have waited for him to turn around a little bit more. No, that worked out beautifully. Nice thing is the weapon has such a wide range that you're probably always going to hit something. Even if you're not hitting exactly what you would have wanted to hit, probably going to hit something. So it's never really a wasted attack just to be swinging around the sword wildly like I was. He's got to be getting pretty weak at this point. I feel like I've done really well so far. But at this point, it's not like I can sharpen, so I may as well just try and get this burst off here. And then I made him fall over again. Alright, so hitting him with the axe like this, is it effective? Not really, but it kind of reminds me of like whenever you'd play Monster Hunter Tri. And you'd be bouncing back and forth on the barrel's head. You'd be getting a lot of damage off. Because that overhead chop does so much damage. And you can get it off so quickly. So, I was fine with that. There's always the debate too, do I wait for him to go to sleep? Do I just jump in right away? Probably go for the safer strat, because I think my time's pretty good so far. Hard to really determine whether these are effective or not, these large barrel bombs, because it's like the monsters kind of like high rank amount of life, sort of, from what I can tell. But without seeing any numbers, it's like you can't tell. Like, of course, G rank, you wouldn't worry quite so much about whether or not you hit a bomb or not. High rank, you kind of would, and low rank, of course, you'd want to do it every time. But I feel like the amount of damage I do to him, I don't know. It's just a little confusing. Alright, that was an interesting way to win it. Just shy of 9 minutes. 9 minutes. 6 seconds. I don't know, I could really see myself using the Switch Axe more. I think it's because it's no longer such a new and cool weapon. People don't use it as much, and so it's not quite as annoying. Doesn't mean it's not effective, though. Definitely one of those weapons that shines with the proper element, though. Interestingly enough, proper element and raw damage, because if you've got the power file is going to multiply the raw damage anyways. I guess it probably really depends on the file you have. If it's an elemental file, you're going to want high element, vice versa. Although raw is always good. So, satisfied that time. Thanks for watching. Again, until next time,